Hello Stampers! I'm Dina Lanzendorf at Inkin' with Dink and welcome to my Facebook Live. So as some of you know, every week when I do my videos and my Facebook Live, I try to focus on one particular product or bundle out of the Stampin' Up! Catalog. So this week I am focusing on the Rainbow Glimmer Paper. If you have not seen it yet, it is fabulous and you really need to take a closer look at it. Yesterday I made a card. Today I'll be making two cards, so you'll get a pretty good look of what you can do with it and how it works. So if you guys are ready, I am going to go ahead and flip you over and we will get started. So the Rainbow Glimmer Paper, okay, looks like this. And it comes in a package and there are two 12 by 12 sheets in your package. It's actually on page 153 of our annual catalog, and it's only $6 for the two sheets. And it is amazing when you're using it on cards and stuff how much you can really get from one 12 by 12 sheet. So just to show you, this is the card that I made yesterday. Move this out of the way so you can see a little bit better. And so I used a strip of the glimmer paper here, and then I also used it to cut out the word cocktails. Okay, so just a couple different ways to do it. I really liked when I cut the word cocktails because the paper is thin enough that I could turn it a little bit, so it's going on the curve above the circle. So this card was just cocktails because adulting is hard. And it really is. And today I'm really feeling it for some reason. So, you know, I guess we all have ups and downs and good days and bad days. So let's make a card, okay? So today we're going to make this card right here. Now, if you can see, I hope you can see the glimmer of it back there, but behind the sunflower, the main piece is cut out of the glimmer paper. I love the way it gives it that ombre look. It's just so, so pretty. So this is the card that we're going to be making today. We're just going to make it in some different colors. So if you're ready, we will get started. So we're going to start off. I'm going to get a piece of rich raspberry cardstock, and this one is 8.5 by 5.5. You're just going to fold it in half to make your card base. Be sure and use a bone folder so it's nice and crisp. Okay. My next layer, I'm going to use Melon Mambo again, okay, just like on my sample card, but I'm not going to adhere it down yet because I'm going to stamp on it first. So I'm going to use the stamp that is in the Snowflake set, the Celebrate Snowflake set, and it just says thanks a bunch. So I'm going to use Melon Mambo ink up my stamp, come down here to the very right hand corner and stamp that just like that. Now, I know from doing this card that when I put the sunflower off to the side, there's just too much blank space there that I didn't like. So I'm going to go ahead and put some ribbon on this one too. This is the Whisper White Crinkled Seam Binding ribbon. I love this ribbon. It is so easy to work with. It's so nice and flimsy and soft, and it just ties beautifully. So what I did is I cut a piece that's about a 1/2 inch longer. This one's actually a little longer, about 1 inch longer on both sides than my cardstock. Okay, I'm going to turn my cardstock over and I'm going to use my tear and tape. You can also use the new Stampin' Seal Plus because it is a very strong adhesive too. So that's what you want for doing any kind of ribbon, is something that's nice and strong. Because if you've ever had a card that's had ribbon on it and after it's been sitting around for a while, the ribbon ends pop out of there, and that's not a good thing to have happen because it's impossible to get it back in. So you want to be sure your adhesive is strong enough to keep your ribbon on there. So I've taken the backing off, so I'm just going to center my ribbon here where I want it and just flip it around so that it adheres to that tear and tape on the back. Then I'm going to do the same for the other side. Take a second, make sure it's straight and even, flip it around like that. Okay, now I'm ready to go ahead and attach it to my card. So I'm just going to take my snail, Put a couple strips of that down, and I'm going to center this right in the middle of my card, just like that. Okay, now to save a little bit of time, I went ahead and got my dies. Okay, so the outline of the sunflower I cut out in the glimmer paper, and the detailed sunflower I cut out in the cardstock, okay, in the rich raspberry. Now, if you look at my dies very closely, and I'm going to turn this around this way, I have pieces of washi tape on them. So what I have always told people to do so that you can easily line up your stamps and your dies is line everything all up, find the top point on all of them, and somehow mark it. Now I can always mark my stamps with a Sharpie or a ballpoint pen, something like that, but I have found that the Sharpies don't stay on my dies. So I've started putting washi tape on them, so that's pretty easy to keep track. So when I get all done and I've got them all punched out, I know this is the top that's going to coordinate with this top. So I just kind of want to keep it close and know that as I'm pulling this off and pushing all the pieces out, I want to keep track of what is the top so that it's super easy for my outline to line up with it. So I love the way this sunflower cuts. The pieces come out of it so easy, which is fabulous. I'm hoping that when our new die cut machine comes out that it does just as nice of a job when cutting out my dies. Okay, so there is that. And I am going to take just a second with my take your pick tool, and I'm going to poke out here the little circles that go all the way around. But I'm going to keep my die with the top up this time, so I know exactly where the top is. You can see all I do is poke them, and then I rub over them on the bottom with my fingernail, and they pop right out of there. All right, so there is that, and there, if I hold it up like this, there is my top right there. It coordinates perfectly. Okay, so this is the glimmer paper I cut out. Okay, again, have my washi tape on there, so I know that this is the top right here. So when I get it and I lay them down, I've got the tops together, they line up perfectly. So all I want to do on this is I'm going to use some of my liquid adhesive, and I'm just going to put it around the inside back here and line this back up and adhere that down like that. Okay, ooh, I like it in the dark color, that's pretty. So now he is going to be ready to adhere to my card. Now, the liquid adhesive takes just a little bit of time to adhere to the glimmer paper, so be sure you give it time to do that. I'm going to go ahead and use some of the liquid on the back here also. And then he is ready. Let's do the pinker more toward the top to pop on just like that. All right, so now I want to tie the rest of my bow there. So all I'm going to do is cut another little piece of ribbon. It's maybe 4 inches long. I'm going to slide it under, and then I'm just going to use that to tie it in a knot. Now I always do my knots like this when I'm making cards, because I have found that it really does save ribbon if you don't go all the way around to tie your knot in the front. All right, and there we go. There is another card using the glimmer paper, the rainbow glimmer paper in the back. So I have to tell you that as I was making these cards, I thought, ooh, we have another really cool bundle that has the outline and then the solid back, or close to the solid back. So I went and I grabbed that set, and that is the, oh, now I'm going to totally forget what it's called, and I'm dropping stuff on the floor. There we go. I think it's called Blossoms in Bloom is what it is called. Hang on just a second. It is. It is the Blossoms in Bloom, and it is stamp set and dies that coordinate. So I thought, let's see how that's going to look if we do the same thing with it. So I took the more bold die, okay, and I ran it through. And let's punch some of it out and let's see how it looks. So it, ooh, I like the way it looks. It's going to punch out a little harder. So let's see if we can't help it out a little bit here. Ah, there we go. Sometimes if you make it flimsy back and forth, the pieces will start popping out a little bit easier. There we go. All right, so let's just take a second and let's pop out these pieces so we can see how this is going to look on a card. So what I really love about this rainbow glimmer paper, I love the ombre look, but I like all the different colors, the rainbow colors. I am such a fan of bright colors, color combinations, anything like that. So anything bright like this is definitely a favorite of mine. So this one didn't cut out very good. There we go. Sometimes you just got to coax them a little bit to get them out of there. Couple more and we will have it. All right, there we go. So there is how that looks with the glimmer paper. So I took the more thinner image and I cut it out of Bermuda Bay. So let's get it off of here and let's see how it's gonna look on it. So this one is super easy to pop out and get all the pieces out of it. Still got to be just a little careful with it. Sometimes I think about things like this and I think, oh, just a little effort provides such a gorgeous look. It is so worth any extra time it takes to undo dies like this. They're so pretty. All right, so let's poke out some of these middle pieces. And you know, this is always the time when you could pull out the brush end and the little sponge thing under, you know, to put underneath of it. But I am such a, I don't know, it's very therapeutic to me to punch all these little things out. So it's, I guess it's kind of on the same lines as fussy cutting. I just love to do that kind of stuff. I don't know, perhaps I'm a boring person and like to do all the little tedious tasks, because I know some people hate to fussy cut. Some people won't buy intricate dies because of this. But to me, they're, like I said, it's therapeutic. I don't mind doing it at all. Now this one looks like it probably should have run it back through to be sure I got all the pieces cut all the way. So let's see how this is going to look on here. Okay. So when you line this all up and glue it all down, it's going to look just like that. That's going to be so pretty. Let me grab my sponge thing. Let's see if we can't make a little quicker job of some of these. Sometimes if you, there you go, if you tilt it on its side a little bit, it will do a little better job. But I can see some of these are just going to be totally stubborn and not come out. And wouldn't you know, it's when I'm doing a live that it happens, because I have done this a million times and don't usually have these issues with it. So I tell you what I'm going to do. I will run that back through. It's super easy to run back through again. So if you would get the same problem I do, all you have to do is line it all up and you can feel it. It'll just slide in. Run it back through again and it will cut it for you the rest of the way. But I'm going to go ahead and show you how this is going to look as a card put together. So this is 8.5 by 5.5. just going to fold it in half like that. Take my bone folder, make sure it's nice and crisp like that. We're gonna put this little baby on. I do like the colors of this one. It was afraid I was going to fall into the pinks and yellows when playing with this, so I was trying really hard to get more of the blues, the greens, the purples when doing this card. Doesn't quite pop out enough. I think it needs a layer. So I cut out a layer of Coastal Cabana just so that it will pop a little bit. So then we're going to put it on and make it pop like that. Yeah, I kind of like that. That's very pretty. All right, so I'm not putting it together because I still need to finish popping those things out. I'll run it through again, and then I will show you exactly what it looks like. I will post a photo. You know what? I'm just going to do it. We're just going to go for it. So hang on just a minute. Let me line her up, and then hang on. I'm going to run it through. Okay, let's see if the second time through helped it out. Oh yeah, now they're falling right out of there. So that's all I needed to do. When I ran it through, I only ran it through one time, and you just need to, when you're doing intricate things like this, you just need to run it back through towards you for your second time, and then it will do a better job cutting. So I knew better. It just caught me. All right, perfect. One more right here. Perfect. Okay, so now what I want to do, let's go ahead and adhere him on there. So let's use our liquid glue, and let's put some just in a few places to help tack it down. So that it will stay. All right, so it's gonna go like that. Try to line it up there. Pat it down. Hopefully I get wherever I put the adhesive. All right, perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Now we're going to, ooh, I love it. I'm going to adhere it on that. I just love all the extra little sparkle. Anyone who knows me knows that I am not a glitter person. I don't like the mess of glitter, and it is a mess. And can you believe I used to be a preschool teacher? Ooh. So, what I love about this glimmer paper is that the glimmer or the glitter does not come off at all. So it still gives me that cool, shiny, glittery look without the mess. So that is what I love about the glimmer paper. If you saw my video yesterday, I did take a big piece of the glimmer paper and rub it with my hand, and no glitter came off at all. So it was super good thing. I'm going to tack this down right here because he's trying to fly away a little bit. All right, perfect. So there you go. There is another sample of what the glimmer paper, the rainbow glimmer paper, will look like on cards if you cut it out as backgrounds to flowers. I really like that. I think that is super pretty. I hope you can see all the shimmery. There we go. It's just such pretty colors. I just love it, love it, love it. So there we go. So when you go on and place your order, go ahead and go to dinalstamps.stampinup.net. Be sure and use my July host code, because when your order hits $30, I will send you a card kit in the mail. This is the July card kit. what you will get is 2 of each of these cards. One of them will be completed for you to use as a sample. The other one will be just the consumable pieces for you to use ink and stamp sets that you already have. And so it's just a really fun way to really get you creative. And you know, creativity is something that you can definitely learn with practice. So the more you do things like this and play with kits where you don't have something to copy exactly, the more creative you will become. So that's why this is a really fun and good thing to do to get your creativity going. So thank you so much for watching me, for joining me today. I so truly appreciate it. Sorry about the little fiasco with the big shot and the die, but that's all right. Thank you so much. Be sure and share my video with your friends, and I will catch you next time.